The Phantom Menace opens at midnight.
Place in the Star Wars line.
People started lining up over a month ago.
All right, get out your lightsabers.
You just may have noticed that Star Wars, the latest episode, opens nationally at midnight tonight.
The hype surrounding this movie has been overwhelming. Now the question is, will it deliver?
They're about to open the doors here in just a few minutes.
This is the 1st of November, 1994. Today is my first day of writing the new Star Wars series. I took my kids to school this morning. My oldest daughter was sick all night. I got no sleep whatsoever. I have beautiful, pristine yellow tablets, ready to go. Nice fresh blocks of pencils. I'm all set. All I need is an idea. This is going to be the first time I go back and try to do a movie of this scale with this much intensity. It starts with me sitting here doodling in my little binder. I mean, it's all over here. It's just a dream. It's just a kind of a thing that I can sit here and do and say, wouldn't it be great if? And then pounding that into reality. The auteur theory of film actually is very true if you know directors, because they are very much like their movies. And in the case of somebody who writes and directs, you know, it is my life. I mean, everything I write is my life. I'm not writing some sort of hypothetical thesis on something. I'm writing a story that I have to get extremely emotional involved in because it's going to take 2 or 3 years of my life to do it. So I can't just sort of say, oh, this will be fun and knock it off in a week. I have to, this is like a marriage. This goes on, you have to be in love with this thing for at least 4 or 5 years and probably for the rest of your life.
It's funny, the images that you see on the screen are nothing like what it is to actually do it. You know, they often can be so, oh, wow, that looks really neat. But what it's involved is, you know, maybe 40, 50, 60 people working on that thing for weeks and weeks. And then you just think, oh, boy, that's a neat explosion. But what it's taken to get that has been a lot of different talents from a lot of different people.
On episode 1, we basically had more freedom than George ever had on the original Star Wars film. And that's really due to digital technology. Up till now, everybody's been constrained by the compromises you have to make because you virtually couldn't build something so big or you couldn't have such an epic landscape to tell your story in.
That was the fun part of writing this project, is that I wasn't limited. Whatever my imagination could come up with, I just put down on the page and I said, we'll worry about this later.
We went out to the ranch and saw 3,500 storyboards, all pasted up on sheets of foam core.
Well, I would say, in the end, that this is set.
Yeah, we've got one little piece of wall. Yes. Oh, yeah. 2 pieces of wall, maybe. Yes.
And then this is you guys.
Mm-hmm.
This is real. And this is real. Real. Not so real. Not so real. Not so real. Real. This is gonna be tricky. Real, not surreal. Real, not surreal. Dude, this stuff like crazy. I was feeling so good about my ability to do this, and I screwed it up. Jar Jar is a key to all this. If we get Jar Jar working, because he's a funnier character than we've ever had in any of the movies before.
Well, the thing that's really big here is in the big grass battle there. Yeah. Zillions of creatures. We don't have a real good way of doing that right now. So that's where some real innovation.
Yeah, I know. That is the challenge.
Exactly.
That's the set piece.
Yeah.
The whole thing is how are you going to top the pod race? Yeah, because it's pretty intense. They'll be exhausted by the time they end the pod race. They'll be ready to go home. But the thing is that we can top the pod race with this incredible Jedi battle that we've always heard about in the last 3 movies but never really got to see. Mm-hmm. And then Anakin, instead of destroying the Death Star, he destroys the ship that controls the robots. Hopefully it'll work.
He's on to the next one. That's another, well, there's 2,000 characters in that shot. How were we were on to the next one. And so it was a pretty overwhelming experience.
We were just blown away. The first few meetings were just trying to get a sense of what these might look like and how many characters might be needed or how many models and which direction we were going to go. It was just staggering.
I know this is going to work. I know it's going to work because it's impossible. You know, we're pushing the envelope in a few places, but the biggest issue is volume. Yeah, it was just the amount of stuff. Anakin is a little boy who lives with his mother.
All right, roll picture and sound.
Action.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I've heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They live on the moons of Iko, I think. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe. Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I've heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They live on the moons of Iko, I think.
Scene 1, take 1.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe. They're so good and kind. They make even the most hardened spice pirates cry.
Never heard of angels before.
Scene 1, take 3.
You can see the difference between the two kids.
Yeah.
One is going to move the production along a lot faster.
There's so many
And the other one, I have to just do
There's so many
a zillion takes and then cut the performance. But the performance sort of rises way above what the other one does because it's so unpredictable. One of the most important things in this particular character is that he is a wonderfully nice boy. And then there's this very intuitive kind of gut feel you get about that's the one. With Jake, I just got that feeling.
It's just not trained. And this one just hits the beats.
Yeah, I was gonna say some people audition real well.
Wow. Yeah, you're signed. We're very proud of you, Jake.
Do you know how much money they're going to spend to make this movie?
Probably over $50,000.
They're definitely going to spend $50,000.
How are we going to start? What are we going to do? I don't care how we get this done. I don't care who pays for it. I got to somehow get my movie made. And our budget is $50 million.
Well, George, you know, the sentiments that you express, I am not unsympathetic with.
So Judith and I looked at every single Padre shot. We had the, I think we had the 14-minute version of it, and we identified the environments that we would apply. We've got 19,000 to create that environment.
But I mean, there's $600,000 worth of pods. Then you actually have to do the shots,
which are 16 million, right?
To put it in perspective, a big film has maybe 250 effect shots, and a really monster film like Titanic will have 450, 500.
Never going to beat Titanic. Nobody can. I don't think that's it.
Can you explain that?
Nobody can. It's one of those things. It just happens. It's like what Star Wars did when it first did it. It defies reality. You just never know on these things. I did a More American Graffiti. It made 10 cents.
Really?
Just failed miserably.
Really?
You can do it. You can destroy these things. You know, it is possible.
You know, listen, I have a reputation as a troublemaker back at ILM, always being...
Thank God you do.
That's why you're here.
Okay, so listen, I'm doing my damnedest to figure out, well, how do we even do a shot like this? And okay, well, these are the techniques I think they're going to be the most bang for the buck. And geez, well, you just have to be able to animate that in 2 weeks.
I mean, nobody can afford to do it at these prices. So
many months later.
And your name?
Ewan.
Ewan. Who are you going to be in the movie?
The young Obi-Wan, I think. I hope. Are we sure that this isn't a terrible mistake?
It's a Cinderella moment. It fits. I shall marry the prince.
Right, does that feel painful anyway? More painful than normal? Now, if you open your mouth as if you're doing exaggerated dialogue, does it work?
Exaggerated dialogue.
Oh, yes. It kind of moves. Yeah.
Some people pay huge amounts of money to have a woman put them in this kind of thing.
Yeah, well, not me, sadly.
And then tell them what to do.
Okay, try it again. Big mouth.
Exaggerated dialogue.
At first glance, we might think there's a large chunk to be saved from Jar Jar in a suit, but looking at all the shots that he's in, the difference of the approach we would take without a suit versus doing a suit is about $1.3 million.
Well, $1 million saved is $1 million earned. The guy we got has got a great walk and everything, and when he translated into Jar Jar, it was great. And squat down. Yeah, look around, kind of. Okay, now look at the camera, and you see something. Oh my gosh.
Darth Vader's was lilac.
I thought his was always red. And
oh, red.
And
but the other
Luke
one,
Skywalker's was kind of blue.
Yeah, but it's just off blue.
Yeah. The first thing I'll do is I'll go and I'll shoot a wide shot. I'll just set the camera up in the corner. You know, I'm not going to relentlessly go down and lay out the storyboards or everything exactly what's going to happen, because I want to, on the day when I see that wide shot play itself out in the set.
I take it you say action after we roll camera?
I'll say action.
You don't.
Sometimes I forget.
People forget.
If I forget to say action or cut, just step in and say action and cut. Mostly I sit there looking miserable and quiet.
Good luck, everybody. Now let's kick ass. 77, take 1.
Action!
Everything is going as planned. The Republic will soon be in my control.
Action.
It's an all pretty itemized.
Don't look at me. I don't know what's
Your Majesty, there is little chance the Senate will act on the invasion.
Chancellor Valorum seems to think there is hope.
If I may say so, Your Majesty, the Chancellor has little real power. He is mired by
exaggerated dialogue.
Okay, cut.
That's a wrap. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, you were terrific.
Open the doors a minute, please.
I'll see everybody tomorrow.
And she's great. Natalie is fantastic. And it all came together. She was perfect, you know. I only had to do 2 takes. She really had it down. She was great. Just great. But I had no idea what was going to happen with her. And I learned a lot with Jake.
You mustn't let anyone know we're here. We're on our way to Coruscant, the central system in the Republic, on a very important mission, and it must be kept secret.
Coruscant?
Cut. Let's try it again.
Ace us up, please.
I'm used to saying Coruscant.
All right.
Not Coruscant.
Coruscant. If you mispronounce it, it's okay.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
It's hard to know exactly where it's gonna trip itself up in a funny kind of way. When I first saw some film, especially film of the desert in Tunisia, I said, oh, I'm back.
Hey, you! That'll be 7 druggets.
Well, I'd say cut.
Tomorrow.
It's just incredible. It's like 4 months work.
This is seriously grim, but not unfathomably doable. The engine sets, look at that.
Yeah.
We have Anakin. These are his engines, which play the most crucial part in the movie.
Right.
Doesn't look good. And then this is the scumbag of the universe, and his engines are completely f***ed. Thank God this beauty's okay, though.
Okay, understood.
That's amazing that one is the only one that really survived.
Yeah.
It's the Force.
That's not how the Force works.
Hopefully we'll get this next sequence finished, and then we're only about 1 shot behind. And then we have to rearrange the schedule.
We shot Ahmed doing a little action here so we could test how well the head replacement thing would work.
Here are 2 different approaches.
Bottom, of course, is head replacement. Top is a fully animated figure. As it turns out, the fully animated one was actually about half the man-hours of the head replacement.
So we spent $100,000 on that suit that we didn't need to spend. Well, let me see that Padaka scene, the one where everybody's sitting
Well,
down.
I had an idea how we'd do it, but it's turned out to be a little more difficult than I thought, but I'll show you where it's going. What's the worst of it?
Well, we'll leave this for the time being, and we'll create this other shot, and then if this other shot works, we'll come back to this shot, take Panaka, slip him out of sync so he doesn't start to move. So he just is standing there. Okay?
Okay.
So, see, Panaka's starting to move in this shot.
Mm-hmm.
So we split him out and start him here. We'll split it right in front of the pilot. There, just go forward. Go on. Try that.
That's the worst
Then I'm going to do the other thing on the other side. And I want to get just the tail end of Obi-Wan sitting down.
You're resyncing both flanking
Everybody.
actors.
Yeah.
Okay. This is cyber directing, right?
Yeah. 3D editing.
Yeah.
There's not enough power to get us to Coruscant. The hyperdrive is leaking. We'll have to land somewhere and refuel and repair the ship.
Yeah, Master.
All right. That's better. We got our pace picked up a little bit here. I think I may go and finish it off with Martin. then I'll come back and we'll do the sword
The
fight.
sword fight. Okay. Place right after lunch?
Yeah, I'd say 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be back in a couple hours.
Okay. Well, maybe you got what you wanted there. You got the George, I'm directing here in the editing room sequence, which is what he loves to do, which is change the actors' performances, you know. We've gotten into that. It's gotten into the last 2 weeks, a habit of not taking anything for granted. If we can split one actor from one take and put him, you know, resync him with everybody else, we're doing lots of that. That's, to me, I mean, it's fantastic you can do that, but it's opening up a whole world of, you know, I mean, that just multiplies.
Well, no, but I mean, I think that the landscapes look
doing a
pretty
remarkably good
by
job.
themselves. So anyway, just so you see what the shots feel like with something in there, even though what's in there is pretty temporary.
Looks good to me. You're not watching the pods. You're listening to the music.
The only concern that one might have is that you may want a version without the chorus, but I don't know if you even want to contemplate that.
I love the chorus.
It gives it that.
It's going to work. I mean, you didn't realize this, but it really goes into the third film very well.
Meanwhile.
That definitely has the quality of the inevitable fate of doom.
106.
Everybody awake?
You will be.
All right, let's do it.
All righty.
It's a little disjointed.
Seems like a lot of short scenes.
It's bold in terms of jerking people around, but I may have gone too far in a few places. That's the biggest trap people fall into in these kinds of movies is they go too far.
In a space of about 90 seconds, you know, you go from lamenting the death of, you know, a hero, to escape, to slightly comedic with Jar Jar, you know, to Anakin returning with his little kind of tag. It's a lot, and you know, it's a very short time.
Boggles the mind. I mean, I've thought about this quite a bit, and the tricky part is you almost can't take any of those pieces out of there now. Because each one kind of takes you to the next place, and you can't jump.
No, I
you don't know where you are.
You think about the very first Star Wars, sitting in there.
Yeah.
No, I know.
And it starts open, and you don't know what the hell.
I do a particular kind of movie, of which this is consistent, but it is a very hard movie to follow, and at the same time, I've done it a little more extremely than I've ever done in the past. It's stylistically designed to be that way, and you can't undo that, but we can diminish the effects of it. We can slow it down a little bit so that if it's intense for us,
yeah, we don't know what
you know, a regular person's going to go nuts.
It's like 1977. I haven't felt this since 1977. Episode 2, man. Episode 2, brother. Episode 2. All right. This is the beginning, man. This is the ending. This is fucking awesome. Yeah!